background of my family, it's mostly Catholic. Um, my grandmas, all of them at the beginning were Catholic. And I remember when I used to go to the church when I was a kid, but it was like a Catholic church. And I used to really be bored when I used to went to church. It was not really my favorite thing of the week. I think I always believed in God, but never in a biblical way. I always thought that it was a God, but it was just He created us, but not really as we have to follow Him or seek for Him or try to be a more similar way to Him. I was really in the world, if you think about it. I was a normal person in the eyes of the world. I used to go to school and sport and go party and hang out with my friends, like the normal things that a teenager used to do or do in a worldly way. So there was not really a lot from the Bible in my life. I used to believe in God, that He created the world, but I didn't know Him. I didn't even know the difference between God and Jesus or Holy Spirit. It was just I knew that He died for me in a cross, but I just think like, yeah, He died for me. Why did He die for my sins if I didn't even born at that time or He didn't even know me? For me, it was so complicated to understand that someone loved me in that way, and that someone would die for me for what I did or my sins even before I born. I used to believe in freedom. It was really a worldly way of thinking. I used to think that everybody have the freedom to believe in whatever they want, and if they believe in I don't know, in any other god, it was okay because everybody's free to do whatever they want, and it's just okay to have different religions. It was a big process because at the beginning I was just start to know Him in a way. But for me, it starts mostly in September when I start the Bible school and I start actually reading the Bible and believing what the Bible was telling me about. So I think that was the first point or the beginning point of my change. And I think at that point on, it just changed a lot how I start seeing the world and the friends and my family and everything that surrounds me. So I think that's the beginning of everything for me. I was a little bit afraid to start a Bible school or start believing in God in a big picture because I was scared to trust that everything was coming from Him and it was not my choice to do whatever I want or do whatever I want to go. I thought that it was my choice to go to work or eat what I want to eat, or I thought that was my choice, and also thought that I chose everything that I did, even the little things or the little things that I used to talk about or how I used to treat people. It was just changed a lot when I started believing the Bible and I actually decide, or it was not exactly my decision, but when I actually start following the Bible and reading the Bible every day and talking with people about it, I think that changed me a lot. My family always used to teach me that I have to be a strong woman because I can't depend on nobody, and I need to grow and make my own things and work for myself and don't ask for help ever, ever, ever. So that was really complicated for me. I was afraid of trust. I think I always have a little bit of uh, problems or difficulties to trusting in people. For me, it was so complicated. I was all the time thinking that everybody will betray me or lie to me or whatever. And for me, it was the big things to trust in Him, and everything that was around me, it was coming from Him. So the blindly trust, it was for me a big issue that I'm still sometimes struggling about. And it changed how I stop make expectations about everything in life. about how I was going to react, or I was just less angry and less irritant and more kind, more open to hear about what people want to teach me. And yeah, I think it was just a long journey for me. When I was 6 years old, it was my birthday. My dad, as a present, he gave me a surfboard. Um, I since I'm a little kid, I always like water and swim and be surrounded by water. For me, it was such a special thing. And my dad used to surf a lot. And when I was sick, he gave me as present a surfboard. And from then on, I started going to surfing with him every almost every weekend. At the beginning, we just start reading the waves and how it used to be, and mostly reading the ocean in the big thing, because it's such a deep situation. How to learn how to read the waves, and he teach me surfing when I was at that age, and it was for me it was my favorite days of the week. Uh, I used to go with him and Friday after school and just get into the car and just look for ways. It doesn't matter where is it. Walk around. And we used to really have a nice moments in that time. And we did that from 10 years. Yeah, like 11. Um, for me, I think that it's one of the most special parts of my life. But it was also, of course, for the surfing, because I really like to surf and like to be surrounded by nature. But it was most because I like to be with him. He was my friend and my dad, and yeah, mostly because it was everything that I had. It was yeah, I think it's the biggest part of my whole life, I guess. After my dad died, I was so angry. I was really angry, and even though that I was not the most religious person ever, I thought that he wasn't fair. And I was angry at him because he take my dad, and how was it possible? It didn't fit in my mind, because how can he do that to me? Even I was a kid, and even though that he knew that he was important for me, how can he just take him in that way? And it was not fair. And yeah, I make a lot of assumptions in my mind about that. And I was so angry, and I think at that time it was most of my craziest years when I started university, and I was like, I didn't even care about anything. I was just running away from the pain. And I think 2 years ago, when I came to the Netherlands, it was when I started listening something about God, even if it was just one time a week, or in a way sometimes. But I was the first one. I was like, yeah, okay, it's okay if I'm surrounded with people that believe in God, but I still had in my heart a lot of pain and a lot of rejection, because I thought that it was not fair what he did to me, and I felt so. How is it possible? And for me, it was a big change when it was like something that happened in me that I started seeing in a different way, and I was open to hear about God and hear about Jesus. And for me, it was a surprise even for myself that I was open to hear about it and talk about Him and talk about Him with people. I thought I would never be capable to do something like that. And now I know that I can't live without Him. Because I'm lost when I don't have Him. And I didn't know that it was like this. I didn't know the rest and the peace that you have inside when you love Him and when you are with Him. And I always compare myself with a baby. I don't know anything. I'm nothing. I cannot even walk without Him. And I'm still learning a lot. I still need to learn a lot. It's lifetime work. I didn't know how confused I was. I really didn't know how lost and mistaken I was. It was not from one day to another. It was a big process that came out in the light that I feel now. I think the person that I talk about God is my grandmother. We are so close to each other because we talk a lot about Him. I share things with her, she shares things with me. And it's such a beautiful connection that I have with her because we are in the same way, in the same path. And I think she's the only person that I can actually talk about God. I think the most special moment that you can share with someone that believes in God as well, first of all, is when you're reading a verse together and you both see a different thing because you read something different. But then you talk about it, it's like, oh yes, you're right. I also see that. Oh, that's amazing. Even when we are so far away from each other now, is the great feeling that you have when you share something with people about God. And for me, it's something new because I'm not surrounded by people that believe in God. My friends that from school, they don't believe in God. Also, not my brothers. I'm not surrounded by a lot of people that believe in God. So for me, it's special to talk about God with everybody that I can, because not everybody is open to talk about Him. And sometimes it's a little bit complicated and there's a lot of rejections from the other person. And that's also not a good feeling, to talk about God and they look at you like, oh, you're crazy. And at the beginning, that was really hard for me. Now I think I'm better in that, but still improving. I still need to grow a lot, but if I think about it, before I felt like I was carrying a backpack with tons of kilos in my bag, and it was so painful and so hard to wake up every day and have in my mind all the worries about what's going to happen with my work, what's going to happen with my school, what's going to happen with my family. And now I'm just so in peace that it's not my choice, it's not my decision, it's not what I want. And even I want something now that's it's probably not how it's going to be. And I'm okay with it. It's fine. I'm happy that He's guiding me in this way. and that is not my way. It's his way all the time. And it doesn't matter what happened because he's good. In everything that he chooses for me, it's always going to be good. Yeah, before I used to have a lot of expectations about how my life is going to look like. Oh yes, I want to have a house and maybe 4 dogs and maybe this and that. I'm not saying like that now. And I think the only expectations that I have in my life now is to be surrounded by people that believe in God. That I can talk about Him with them and don't feel any pressure. That don't feel that I'm weird. Because it's okay to talk about Him. And he's good. We have a lot of His.
Your eyes, the world awakens in the light of the day. I look up to the sky and say, you're beautiful.